Well, the pagan altars were Oriental, and that, I guessed what she was heading towards in her mind. Alright, it's the blessing of Shangri-La. You alright, blokes? Yeah. You alright, lovies? Hello, it's a Kenny. It's a Bill. Is that your cider, darling?
Yes.
Oh, that's good stuff, that is. Oh, good stuff, that is. So, the pagan altars were Oriental, and my guess is the blessing of Shangri-La. Now, my guess is the pagan stuff she was into was occult, and it's a blessing, an occult blessing, that would be an occult blessing on herself of Shangri-La. Now, you can have the blessing of Shangri-La. The real Shangri-La is made of pollen. It's a dimension in the Tibetan mountains. And if you go there and you stumble on it by mistake, nobody will ever find out you ever existed. It's like a death dimension, but you stumble on it in life. And it's made of pollen. It's made of pollen. Although inside it would look like a very real dimension, it is actually physically made of pollen, flower pollen. And nobody ever knew it existed. If you stumble on it by mistake, you end up in that dimension. But Shangri-La can also be a blessing, and the occultists have a negative Shangri-La blessing, which is a sort of place where there's drink and drugs and orgies and crime and stuff, people who aren't quite what you think they are into. And I looked at them. It was a negative Shangri-La occult blessing. She was going for the negative Shangri-La occult blessing, and she was working towards that. And she heads off a long time off the places. So I reckon that's what she was up to. An occultist will never ever let you know they're an occultist, especially an expert one. They always keep it a secret. It's very much an interest to do so, not to say they're an occultist. Alright? But she was a pagan, she was an occultist. And no way would you ever get it out of her. Roundabout, she will have a couple of key occult books, despite the fact she denies it. She does have a computer. I know she does. Well, call that schizophrenic paranoia. Could well be. It could well be. But that was what I perceive. Whatever way she's thinking is what she was trying to achieve. If I put it that way, then you could see it that in terms of the fact that she has, you have to look at her flat, or deep interest in paganism. Either she's worked out somehow. I worked that out in my way, right? That's my way of working it out, alright? What she was up to. A pagan would work it out differently. It's one of the reasons why I've never mastered paganism. A pagan will work that out differently. You don't have to look at her flat to know she's a pagan, and the way she dresses. A pagan will work that out differently. That's how I worked it out. But that's to do with different types of magic that I know about. That's how I worked it out, what she was up to. She was blessing herself. She was blessing herself and using the situation to bless herself. And I'm not too sure how the pagans work this out, because I've never really got round. I don't know many pagans. I've never really got round how they think. But that's how I interpreted what she was up to. Were we killing flies? Oh, don't get any of that in your marijuana. It won't taste very nice. You're getting bleach in your marijuana. Oh, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You right, Kenny?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah? As I said, just gave an interpretation. My understanding of what she was up to. And that was my interpretation, the way a pagan would interpret it completely differently. How she thought about it as a pagan would have been different, but that's the only way I can interpret it. I haven't mastered paganism. I just know about different forms of magic. I've had to do that to develop my tools. And obviously, through doing it through the perspective of magic, rather than how the pagans get round it, I end up with all curses. I don't know how I worked out magic, and I didn't work out paganism, but maybe I think the pagans start out with paganism and don't work out magic first. So I think that's how they do it. They start out with the pagan culture and the way of doing paganism, so that they get round it. I just described it in terms of magic. I worked out magic. That's why I've been successful with the tools that I did do. It's because I worked out magic. But then I had to take on all the bad luck. You know? So it was foolish to do it that way, but I don't know, it's just how I worked it out. Pagans usually do it, get in with other pagans and work out how to do it that way. Because we've all worked out our ways around it. But they are not very successful in results, from what I gather. I might be wrong there. What about, all the tools I gave away? I had insomnia at the time. I got very confused, I gave away quite a few. I've got it all written down. Pagans will be interested. You right, Kenny?
Yeah.
We'll put this on YouTube. I hope to get round to putting this on YouTube today. Oh, that schizophrenic murder rage woman that's after me. Because she knows now she'll work out that I'm the same person as Rose Shotter. She's after me. You know that person who did that schizophrenic murder rage channel? And knew I was the same person as Rose Shotter? I don't know how she worked that out. She must be good at computers. She seems a right nutter, doesn't she? Kenny?
Yeah.
Right now it's about putting my telephone number and address here. I am to get the Jedis over here.
To the what?
We've got to get all the Jedis over here and invited pagans as well. We've got to just get the book, get them looking at the books. I can't think of any other way of doing it.
Just put your telephone number, don't put your address.
I don't mind, Kenny, we've got good security here.
Yeah, it's on the door.
Yeah, I know they've got to get through several doors, so I think we should be alright.